Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day of the first annual Rolling Route 66 Car Show. As always, I'm your host, Austin Coop, and on behalf of myself and the folks over at Rockability, I'd like to welcome you to our show coverage, part 2 of Texas. So, as always, big thank you to Don Juan Pomade for all your men's grooming needs. Please support our sponsor, DonJuanPomade.com. Let's get right to the show. As of this morning, over 1,150 cars and trucks entered, and over 30,000 votes have been cast. We were just looking at the votes this morning and thought this might be kind of an interesting stat to share with you. Out of those 30,000, 15,000 of those are what we would call unique votes, which means that on average, people are basically voting 2 times. So 2 days. So just to give you some inspiration, those of you that are trying to make gains up and through the leaderboard there, that there's still a lot of opportunity for your followers if they can vote, if you can get them voting every day to make some big gains. But again, just can't express how blown away we are by the wonderful votes. It's so much fun for us to take a look at, both the top 20 and the individual classes. It's a lot of fun for us. So keep those votes coming, and we'll keep having fun with this. So speaking of the leaderboard, your top 20 is, your 11 through 20 is unchanged. So same as yesterday. So we've got 16 through 20 there on the leaderboard, and 11 through 15 there on the leaderboard. So again, unchanged in terms of position. Of course, the vote tallies have changed, but the positions remain the same. I wanted to give you another little piece of information to help you with some voting stuff here. So to give you an example, the 11th place car has 529 votes. The 20th place car right now has 280 votes. So there's about a 250 vote spread between getting into the top 10 and being knocked out of the top 20, if that makes sense. So we've got a lot of you knocking on the door of that top 20 there. Your cars 21 through 30 are all on the 200 plus vote side. So, you could very easily break into the top 20 or top 10 if you really wanted to there. So just thought that would be helpful. And now let's talk about the top 10. Our top 10 leaderboard here. In 10th place, Dennis Vaughn, 586 votes with that sedan. Josh Carpenter's Cadillac, 594 votes is good enough for 9th place. Tom Norskoff, 618 votes, puts his Mustang in 8th place. 7th place, Brian Bush's Mustang with 741 votes. In 6th place, the Corvette of Pam and Ron Scattergood with 835 votes. 5th place, another pony car, the pony car of Gary Foster, 878 votes. Sarah Honeycutt's Impala wagon in 4th place with just over 1,000 votes. Ricky Napick in 3rd place with 1,145 votes. Making a jump into 2nd place, Scott and Connie Bosey's Mustang convertible with 1,243 votes. And still in 1st place, JC Galloso's Trans Am with 1,332 votes. So again, that top 5, lots of movement as we go through each day. So still anybody's contest here. So keep those votes coming. It's a lot of fun for us to watch. So today we're going to tackle the second half of Texas, basically Amarillo to the New Mexico border. I'll try not to bust out any poorly sung country songs for you here. Lots to see and do in Amarillo. So I want to be very clear that we're going to scratch the surface of Amarillo. So like I said, go to the state page, find out more. Lots of fun stuff to do in Amarillo. So we're going to get started there. Of course, in the picture there is Cadillac Ranch. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. First of all, let's talk about Route 66 in Amarillo there. A couple of great places we want to point out to you, especially if you like art and jewelry. One is the Lyle Art Gallery. That's a picture of Bob Lyle there with that Mustang. He does a lot of different art projects and jewelry and things like that for sale at his shop. one of the cooler things that is available, as you can see, like in this pendant here, he'll take paint off of the Cadillacs at Cadillac Ranch and fashion them into jewelry. So that's a great stop for anyone on Route 66. There's also Jim Livingston with his art projects. He has a welcome center. It's a Route 66 welcome center where he sells all sorts of different trinkets and goods, but he's an accomplished artist and photographer himself. Excuse me. What you're seeing right now on the screen, this is part of his I Am series, where he goes around and interviews and photographs different people on Route 66 and shares their story. So two great places for you to check out in Amarillo when you're in town, especially if you are a lover of art and photography and jewelry. So Jim and Bob both have great stops there. So I wanted to mention them. Of course, lots to eat in Texas, and Amarillo is no different. The one that gets the most notoriety is a place called the Big Texan. If you've driven the interstate, you've probably seen it on the side of the highway. They're most famous for their 72-ounce steak challenge. We won't dive into all the details. If you want some fun YouTube videos, Google that. There's some pretty wild videos of people completing that challenge. They also have a brewery and a motel and an RV park and a gift shop and a little bit of everything there. So that's a popular tourist attraction in Amarillo as well. Just on the edge of Amarillo as we head west towards New Mexico is the fabled Cadillac Ranch. For those of you that aren't familiar, it's a bunch of Cadillacs that are buried nose down in the dirt there. I've always been told that the angle is the same as the angle of the pyramids in Giza. So don't quote me on that, but I think that is true. They were intended to be an art installation that people could interact with, and that lives on today as people spray paint them. Occasionally they'll go through and paint them all one color and kind of clean the slate. They've gone through before and also painted them pink for like breast cancer awareness and different things like that, but totally fine, acceptable to go and spray paint them. We typically bring our own spray paint, but if you forget, it's no big deal. There's typically some cans laying around. It's okay to leave cans if they have paint in them. We do kind of all ask that if you've got empty cans and caps and things like that, that you would take your trash with you. But of course, Cadillac Ranch, one of the most iconic roadside attractions in the United States. So that's always a fun stop. Heading up the road a little bit, again, we come to another great little stop called the Midpoint Cafe in Adrian, Texas. So this is basically the midway. This is, just as the name would imply, the midpoint of Route 66. So at this point, you're about halfway from Chicago to LA. The Midpoint Cafe there has changed owners a few different times. The current owners are wonderful and do excellent food and pies and have a gift shop. And of course, there's a sign to commemorate the fact that you've made it halfway. The owner used to be a lady named Fran Hauser. And then Fran later ran a little gift shop next door to it called Sunflower Station. I wanted to talk about Fran for a second because she's just wonderful and has been a good friend of ours for many years now. But if you remember the movie Cars, she is the inspiration for the character Flo. So she is the real life Flo. And again, she used to own the Midpoint Cafe for a while there, back when they were doing the research for the movie. So kind of fun little tidbit. So can't say enough good things about the people at Midpoint Cafe these days. So make sure that you stop in and support them on your Route 66 travels. Excuse me. And that is kind of the gist of Route 66 in Texas. Again, scratching the surface. We know we missed places. So by all means, check them out on our webpage, rollingroute66show.com, for more information. And without further ado, we've got more cars for you. So stay tuned for a walk through the show corral and a batch of your cars and trucks. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you back tomorrow for New Mexico.